it be winning here. A lot of the analysis made in HSA. Baby, Yachikwesi, if you know, a whole vote to know, a Dawson.
Yeah.
I don't Chelsea near my in favor of Yachikwesi. The MPP has managed to get a citizen from that area to also stand. So what it means is that the votes are going to be split. Exactly. So the people voted on the fact to say, oh yeah, Yachikwesi, so definitely, new votes in a wedding, a super form. He could have also said, well, at the time, I'm more to Abano. Now, we need to say NDC and MPP, and they be winning. It is now more to Abano, hoping, say, ABA NDC, a be winning. Right? But NDC winning. MPP never be win. It is a MPP, I was so no. MPP now, Mark Wine, and the movie be a mopeno, Mosa Bede, Mosa Ebeka. It you know, why don't you people vote for the MPP candidate, you know? So that the MPP will be in a position to continue with the projects or more undertaking. You don't have to even come to this area of the police issue or the court issue. No, you don't have to go there. This should have just been a clean politics. And mind you, he is a president of the whole country. So whichever platform of Bekosuno, he cannot say that he's divorcing himself as a president from what he's saying. The Obeke Biarano, he says so in his capacity as a president. Because of course our campaign has to know, even though it is a political party, a partisan one, and yet a national platform, so to speak, you know. But he went there in his capacity as the president with all the apparatus, the security and everything, including his chair. He didn't need alcohol. So he goes there fully as a president. It's in a Kasamuno. As I said, oh, you're very careful, say Kasamchi, Embamu Bebre. Otherwise, he himself will be creating a problem for himself. Because ultimately, you know, if there is any rioting or any insecurity in the country, it is his responsibility as a president to ensure, say, Obama peace about honorable. In areas of conflict, you know, you don't go there. So as I said, you know, he had a beautiful premise upon which he could just have what to happen at the mommy. But there was a skirt and blouse for whichever reason. If then a mamma I didn't buy, and I'm open as a man to Abana Famano. They say, you are copy will be a you some open as a Musumudin who Adam say, why is he? Even before say, you didn't buy a baby dinner say, a member of parliament, a friend issue with. You can speak like this, the people will vote for him without you getting yourself made up in this issue at the court. Because unless that person, unless the people are not politically savvy, once you are politically savvy, you will know, say, the court has been weaponized against Yachikwesi. It is obvious. Never be heard of one. What you mean can say, connecting way to way, no one a different answer. When you connect, it goes because the panel piano to alcohol. On person Pobenia time, no what a campaign.
Yeah.
Then the person tells you, say, men to a ban for money panel because Nipa Chrono and like this Obeko jail. Men to a ban for money panel because or caught in and out of court. And then you tell us that a friend said it is the court, but a nyawo. Because the Attorney General could have decided to drop this matter, and that will be it. The Attorney General is part of this government. And the Attorney General is being insistent that there should be day-to-day hearing of this matter. He has described Atugoisi in various uncomplimentary languages. So how do you tell somebody like me, say, oh, we a court in the air? Yes, court in the baby, the court doesn't go after anybody. It is people who send others to the court.
Kessben.
Now, for one, for who speak and court, would the court have anything to do with you?
No.
So we should not be pushing things onto the court. The court will deal with things that are brought before it. The bet will be at the court premises. the court on its own to make us here could be of court premises in it, the back on the no. The only thing you can do, I bet me handle directly in the court is when you get to the court and you are disturbing when the court is sitting. Then of course you be in contempt of court. And that one is because it is before the judge. And I said there's a court sitting. Why yes I did, So it is presumed that whatever you do at the court premises, yeah, it's court, I saw a certain utterance. Now, President can say, not go and be telling lies to the villagers and our people who are in the village. Unfortunately, he himself fell foul to that. Because that example now on my between Adamu Sakande matter and Yachikwesi, they are poles apart. They are never the same.
Resemblance beyond ending those two cases.
There is no semblance of no, there's nothing like that. My main common, at least for the sake of our listeners, and then they themselves can say the same thing. Adamu Sakande stood as a member of parliament and won in his constituency. Owinize no, enna obi edene koye ebilbey edene koye say Adamu Sakande no yenyi no infi parliament ho because a normal na esese anka oye ansem wa ba bijina no wanye sai niema no na mpo ebre a ode asem ede ba oto no na Adamu Sakande no eda swara yes idea no. What it meant, they say, if you are going to be a member of parliament, you should not have a passport of another country. Right?
Yes.
But in the case of Adamu Sakande, after he has been voted for and he was sitting in parliament, he had a Burkinabe passport and he had a UK passport. Right? So, in the case of Adamu Sakande, or no cry to about any man we na or parliament, there was still evidence that he had Burkinabe and British citizenship. Now, when you come to the issue of Jachikwesi any renunciation certificate from Canada on the 20th of November 2016. So what it means is that at the time I heard he was not having Canadian citizenship.
In 2019.
In 2016. In 2020.
2019. Okay.
What am I going to say? He didn't have that citizenship. But when you look at that of Adamu Sakande, at the time I heard he was having his Burkinabe and British passports, including the Ghanaian one. When he was sworn in as a member of parliament, he was still having his Burkinabe passport and the British passport. In the case of Jachikwesi, at the time they were voting for him, he didn't have Canadian citizenship. At the time he was sworn in, he didn't have British citizenship, Canadian citizenship. So when he was sent to court, he again attempted to even destroy some documents. Even show say he was still traveling with the British citizenship, until they brought in somebody from the migration who came to testify. Say he was a migration officer who was there at the time. Adamu Sakande, he used British passport. So these things are completely different issues. And I would have wished that the advisors of the president would have told him not to go that area at all. He should have been completely silent on these issues, and to dwell only on the fact that the people should vote for him. It makes sense if your party is in power and for you to have additional member of parliament joining you. Others will say, hey, we will need to have some control over government's activity. More or equal number of MPs, so that it is not going to be say a year parliament where if the MPP is in power and it has majority in the chamber, anything that is brought, it will be passed. We have seen the usefulness of young present hang parliament. There are a lot of friends saying bills are not agreements in the parliament young peninsul. And it turned out that the non-success of those issues, inure to the interest or to the good of Ghana. But check on some of the agreements that were done in the past when some of the parties had a majority in the House. And they never how can people sign such agreement or approve of such agreement? So for some of us, as constitutional watchers and dispensations, we would have loved to have this parity in Parliament, so that the executive will always sit up. Because if we have almost absolute
majority
in Parliament, and what am I your? Look at the issue of this gentleman, the finance minister,
Kenneth Riata.
Didn't we see some of his own people rebelling to say,
yeah?
Was that not the promise to say, oh, young train, is friends saying IMF issues we are. What has happened? IMF issue here, but he's still there. The president has not removed him. So you see, when you have that majority in Parliament, that's almost support to the executive, in almost all its activities. It does not help the country. Let us also understand they say, on Ghana, development should not be based on presence of a particular party. Development must be equal. Baby, you being here say that for development, young so that this country will develop. So when we have a whole a president saying that don't vote for this guy because he's not in my party, and that when he comes to me, I'll not listen to him because he's not from my party. Trust me, that is an outrageous statement to be made. You can't do that. You can't deprive somebody. You cannot punish a constituent because it's a member of parliament and yet a member of the party. You don't do that. You ensure, because in you swearing, Akofinana or swear said he is going to be a president. Okay, never be prove the text as a president. He is not going to be, discriminating. Essentially, that is what he says as per a friend saying, swearing now,
yeah.
So you have sworn that you are going to be fair to all manner of men. And you go and stand somewhere and say that he is not from my party. So vote for somebody who is from my party so that when he speaks to me, I will listen to him. You have flouted that oath of officer of fire. This is even enough for the president to be held, before the Supreme Court and for him to be impeached. Because he has come openly to say he is flouting the oath of office. What he said is not going to be biased. But he's saying now, outside the set, that is what he's going to do. Because if you vote for my man, I will listen to him and I'll give you projects.
Very well. Cousin, my main influence here. Now, you best also Eddie and Comobium. I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you too.
Okay. I think Lawyer Paul Kube and Benino Eddie and Komo Anope on some of the issues bringing us to